Hey, Aaron. Thanks a lot for making time to be here today. As you know, we're about to open up enrollment for the association, and a lot of PhD students and postdocs. They have questions, and they might be sitting on the fence about whether or not to join and whether or not there's any benefit to join. So we wanted to talk to some of the past members about their experiences, and you've successfully transitioned into industry, so we appreciate you taking the time to be here.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
All right. Well, why don't you just start with, you recently got this industry position. Maybe tell us what that position is and why you wanted to transition into industry.
Sure, yeah. Just quick about my background. My name is Aaron Gadgetar. I did my PhD in Toronto, and I did a postdoc at MIT here in Boston.
Mm,
I just recently accepted an offer about a month ago for a senior scientist position at Merrimack Pharmaceuticals, which is a systems biology-based oncology company here in Boston. And I've just always been a lifelong academic, and just ready to break out of the ivory tower and do more meaningful and more impactful work. So
great.
that was why I made the transition.
Yeah, that's great. I think a lot of people are kind of feeling the same way now. Um, so you made the decision to join the association. You made the decision to transition into industry and then to get help by joining. What were some of the benefits you saw right away once you joined?
Yeah, there certainly were a lot. In my case, I joined basically at the same time that I was starting my formal job search. So, getting your resume dusted off and starting to look at job boards for positions. So I think having access to all the CSA resources just enabled me to immediately take the actions that would lead to my eventual job offer rather than trying to submit my application to the HR abyss and hope that this would magically get me a job. So,
Yeah.
these actions were everything from just overhauling my resume so that I would get noticed, being strategic with networking, and just learning how to create value for others while trying to market yourself at the same time.
That's great. And you were very active in the private group, and as we talked before, you found a lot of benefit in that. Maybe you can talk a little bit about this private group and how it's different from what you expected, and kind of what value you were able to get out of that.
Yeah, maybe I'll work through. So I think
Sure.
for me, the most impressive things about the group were just, oh, sorry, my
That's it.
email is going off here.
Always
The
busy.
Just the high level strategy resources that were available to me, and I think this was all complemented by the interactive, helpful nature of the group. So for me, these were real game changers. I'll just give you an example. For the resume workshop webinar was a great kind of systematic dissection of how do you craft a document that a hiring manager and recruiter is going to notice.
Mm,
And then the great thing was that once we all saw this webinar, everybody would go revise their resumes and then just post them back to the private group for feedback and advice. And um, I think this just goes to show you that there's this real-time support group that was so helpful because
mm.
it's actually comprised of current industry professionals as well as cheeky consultants. So everything was very relevant and quite credible.
Absolutely. Well, no, that's great. Thanks for the example. And last question is, if somebody was sitting on the fence of joining the program, as I'm sure we all do, and we're considering something, and they were thinking, should I join or should I not join? What would you tell this person?
Yeah, I think it goes down to you want guidance from people like yourself who are just tired of the whole academic grind, and these people have figured out a way to successfully navigate their way into industrial careers. Those are the people you want to be talking to.
Mm,
Um, and, like most other lifelong academics, it can be very challenging to find advisors who really identify with this type of situation, especially in academia, and then to provide sound advice on the practical aspects of the job search, networking, interviewing, negotiating, and so on. Um, I think the very last thing actually that made me sign up was um, a statistic I had read on one of your enrollment pages, and it was that this program actually helps associates find jobs 3 to 6 months faster than the average time.
mm,
And if you sit there and you do the math and you figure, I could be making six figures as a scientist.
yes.
That's $25 to $50,000 in potentially lost income. So for me, it was a no-brainer.
Yeah. Well, that's great. Aaron, thanks a lot for taking time to be here. We know you're busy now, right in the middle of that transition. So congratulations on the new job, and thanks again.
You got it. Thanks, Jose.